Hi, I'm Johnna.
And I'm Aaliyah, and welcome to Lit and
Lit and
Loud.
loud.
I'm holding it. You have no idea what we've been through.
We are extra giggly today, and that
We are.
isn't even the short of it. I'd apologize, but I'm having fun, so I won't.
Yeah. I mean, we're giggling on a Thursday, girl. When can you do that?
That's our job.
Yeah. Hi, Diva.
Well, but we show up and giggle on a Thursday.
This is what we do. Well, glad to see you. We've been talking for a while, as always. Just chatting. But what's up?
What is up? You know, I'm deeply sick of waiting for spring to be real spring. Like high of 50 today, low of 38. We got frost on Saturday. But they did get 8 inches of snow 2 days ago in Colorado. So
I saw that. I did see that from our friends, and I was like, that's crazy.
Crazy.
It has
could
been
be way worse.
Right here in Maryland. We've had a later frost than usual, but we are like turning the corner on that, and it's been decently warm with no humidity yet. So I feel like everything's good in the world. And then come June, because we moved here in August of last year, I know it's coming. You know, I was like, you know, you move to a state with more heat equals more humidity usually, and it's just fucking wet over here. It's just wet. So not excited. But right now we're in that like beautiful time. It is raining a lot, but it's spring rain, you know? It's like leave your window open at night kind of rain. She's praying for it.
Pray for those times. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm sending them. I'm sending them up to your zone.
Yeah. They'll get here, and you know it. This is like the latest spring ever. It's currently May 7th. We had frost a couple days ago. It's cold out, so
yeah,
it's got to stop at some point. In theory,
right? Gotta hold on.
What are you reading?
I'm reading so much. I've just kind of been plowing through things. I've had a lot of listening time. I'm really locked in a way that I'm not intending to be, but like this is usually my slump-a-rooney time. I get in the dumps, and I haven't, because I've really picked up some killer books. I had started the Dungeon Crawler Carl series at the very end of April, and I have since read number 2 and number 3. We have the Dungeon, Carl's Doomsday scenario first, and then the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook. This is such a delightful series. It's something different for me. It's not usually my jam, and I'm not like, I don't have like a stake in the game. Like if I was a gamer, like that would be cool. If I was like really into sci-fi, that would be cool. I just think it's like a good moment for me, and I love Jeff Hayes narrating these books. Yeah, that's really like a big. The book is really good, or the series is really good. You can tell that there's huge world building, and like usually that's not my thing, but I am like really into the narration and like how dynamic it is, and like
the
I know
production's so cool.
Production is so like, yeah, it's just been really a treat to listen to, something different too. So I flew through both of those.
I've never read a book that reads like these. No. And I probably, if I read any other book that reads like these, I'm going to be like, oh, it's like Carl, but not Carl. This is such a, apparently books like this do exist because boys exist, but apparently this is a genre, but this is the first thing of its type that I have ever picked up.
Same.
Which I'm fine with, because it's doing a great job. Because I mean, we could dive in. I'm also, I just finished today, actually, the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook.
So that was like, let's talk on it. Watch out, guys. Yeah. Makes no noise. Ooh! Yeah, book 3 was Trixie. I texted you, or you had texted me first about it, and I felt a little.
Pause. I text her because she read it in 6 hours, it felt like, and I was alarmed at how quickly she consumed it.
I told you I was plowing through them. I
was like cooking. I didn't know. I was shook. I was like,
I was on.
Whoa!
I was on 0.75 too. I was like in it.
These books do not do it for me that fast. I gotta like 1.5 tops.
So I gotta tell you,
there's too much shit going on.
Yeah, well, that's like the writing. I said this last time. It's like, oh, they're walking along the path to the next safe room, and boom, this comes out of the wall, and it's like, and it turns on a dime. And I like the only book that has lost me a little bit was the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, and that is like a critique of the book in general, but it seems incredibly intentional that this isn't a confusing floor with the whole train system that they have in there. Like the crawlers are trying to figure it out at the same time. It was just a little too like disconnected for me to really get into the story, but the best parts of the book are like the action and the plot pushing and the backstory and like, you know, all these characters that kind of get thrown into this world on top of like your main girls being Carl, Donut, and our new girls. But
Katya.
Yeah. Yep, we have Katya and we have what's the
we'll probably discuss spoilers here, so.
Oh yeah, that's what I was like. I wasn't trying to give too much, but yeah.
Do a little fast forwarding.
Yeah, that's the only one that like gave me a little moment. So from that, I was like, I need to like step into something completely different. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a DCC break, and
hold on.
What?
I'm not done talking about this book.
Go. Sorry, I was just trying to segue.
No, it's okay. Sorry. I definitely feel like this was the most.
He mad.
He hated it too. I feel like they did a really good job flopping back and forth between like what was happening and then talking about the level and then explaining that the actual like dungeon level wasn't built and wasn't functioning and wasn't working, and that's why they're trying to solve these puzzles, but they have all the wrong pieces because the pieces are never going to go back together, and even though they solved the puzzle doesn't function. I'm like,
huh?
But it just feeds into Carl's whole thing that this is a fucking dystopian hellscape, and this is
it's like
literal
a
nightmare to live. Right.
And like that's the beauty of it. That's still there. Like it's not a complete. It's not a. It wasn't a bad read. It was just harder for me to like get into the level, which is like what they're doing. You know, you're jumping through these books into the levels, and
the end of the epilogue really felt, again, spoilers, really felt so good when he like did his full like "you will not break me" monologue, like we are gonna undo this from the inside out because this is so fucked up. And there was such good character development. Katya's character development through the whole thing was just amazing. In her turning on the person that she thought she was working for the whole time was everything, because when that bitch showed up and was like, "Thank you for honing in Hecla," right?
Hecla,
like,
yeah.
Hecla, when she was like, "Thank you for honing in all of Katya's skills. Will you now help us go on this adventure and do X, Y, and Z? Because even though you just did us this massive favor, will you do us a second massive favor? And I'm going to turn on you, bitch." And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Because Carl is so kind-hearted.
Yes. He is. And he's looking out for all of these crawlers. Like he connects with everyone at the Desperado Club to like, we need to be communicating. Like this needs to be like a joint effort. And like,
this is we like, can all rise up instead of being against each other. We can be against the people that are making this happen.
Exactly. I love Carl.
I love Carl. We're passing back and forth a lot of Carl thirst traps right now that are all in drawing form, but you know we love fan art.
Who
He's such a good character.
He is. I know that there's got to be so much more about his life that comes up too. Like we get these like
we got that little.
Yeah, it's like they're little sprinkles, but they're like blinding to like this character building. It's small. It's small right now, which I feel like there's going to be like some really big movement here in this latter half of the series, because the books are there's so much. I mean, 800 page for the next, I think, a couple, two or three of them.
I think one of them's over 1,000. It's the audio's like 28 hours.
Right. That's why they won't do a 2-for-1 for that bitch. I think it's the 7th book, or the 6th book. It's the 6th book.
Wife of the Pod Kate just got 3 and 4 on a 2-for-1.
That's what I did too. Luckily, like I had gotten like 3 credits for a certain amount, and then they had the credit sale, so I was like, woo. But I went on Reddit and I was like, hey, like fans that have been following for a while, like, you know, and you know, readers want multiple copies of things, especially if you're an audio and physical reader, whatever. And I was like shooting my shot, which I should never do on Reddit because you can't ask questions and get genuine answers sometimes, most of the time. And these people were like, just wait, there'll be a sale. And I was like, well, that's what I was asking. But I was like, how frequent doesn't happen? Like, when was the last one? Like, do you guys book sale? Because I don't frequent. I try not to use Audible ever. And these people were just mean to me. They were like, just wait. I was like, okay, I was going to anyways, but you could like give me some insight.
Right. And there was a sale recently because Gabe got them all for super cheap. But
so I knew that. And I was like, okay, so like how does
either, because I just go in after the credits. I honestly hardly use it. He pays for it. Thank you. And
thank you.
like because I'm just on Libby. So yes.
Yeah,
no idea.
It chaps my ass having to use Audible, to be quite honest. I hate the Audible model. I hate the credit model. I hate the monthly membership model. I hate everything about it. And
how much is Audible a month?
It's 15 something.
Okay. So it's cheaper than buying a book outright, but it's
yeah. But there's like, I think there's like ownership things and like download base ownership, and I don't understand it quite because I don't use it. I'm just like, it just doesn't seem like something. Right. Like I can look at my Kindle. Same with the Kindle though. Like I feel leery about using Kindle Unlimited. Like I had it free when I first got my Kindle, and it was great because I had a few series. But like Audible exclusive audios is really like, it irks me. I bullied Matt Dinniman in the comments. I was like, you got him on Libby. Get the like. Right. This is insane. You messaged me and I was like, I literally woke up, saw that message, and I was like, no fucking way. And I went in there because I was literally digging the night before, tossing and turning how I was going to like efficiently buy these audiobooks, because I was like, I cannot spend my whole check on like audiobooks to read them because I was flying through them.
But I'm thinking about it.
But think about it, because like I really like it. And I don't buy a lot of physical books. Like I am not someone that takes weekly trips to Barnes and Noble like some of you bitches. No, I'm kidding.
For that shit.
That's what I was saying. Like people that have these beautiful libraries. I mean, right now it'd be nice for me to have a beautiful library wherever we live next, but that is just not my current situation. So I'm always like, how are these people spending so much on books?
And all the books are on Kindle Unlimited, but the audio is so good. I want it on audio. I read a pretty massive chunk of the first book, not like on the Kindle, not on audio. I got deep into it that way. And then I just, it's like, the audio production's so good. Why wouldn't I listen to it? But yes, I also thought his little, like, I'm going to call it a boss battle, that final battle he did where everyone came to save him and he was just so choked up about it, was so sweet. Carl is probably one of the purest, most redeemable characters I can think of interacting with ever. And I wish all good things to him, but I'm scared.
I know. I'm like,
as these books continue. I did start Gate of the Feral Gods right after, and I'm like minutes into it, but I do need you to know the next place they end up is run by camels in a hilarious way, because like the camel cigarettes camel.
Cool camel.
Yeah, I was like, what a fucking vibe.
I'm gonna probably jump back in, but I have a few like Libby holds that came in that have just like been burning a hole in my shelf currently. So one of those is And Now Back to You by BK Borison. I love it so far. It's got that freaking charm. She knows how to write that like right from the get-go. And I think I was listening to it. I think I've gotten 45 minutes into it because we got on here, and I'm already in love with it. It's based in Maryland too. So like now that I'm a resident, I'm like, I know where that is. I've been there. Like I can recognize it. I feel part of the club as a transplant now. So.
And she's local to Maryland.
Very fucking local. Like things that she suggests, like the places
the calls
that she
coming
suggests.
From inside the house.
I'm like, I'm gonna run into her on the street and not know what to do with myself. Can you imagine?
Okay. No.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single author except for Harley that I'd walk by and be like, hey.
You know what? You're probably right. The last book that I hopped off of Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook was Ignore All Previous Instructions by Ava Hoffman, which is an ARC read because I am setting myself on a mission, basically. I don't know why this was like that. Why it came to I know why, because I went into my Net Galley, saw a TikTok for a memoir from one of my favorite actresses in when I was a kid in a shitty British TV. You know about Skins. Why am I? You know about this.
Keith,
I know you know.
If you're listening, I need you to understand what she just said to me. Thank you.
Well, I was explaining it for the people more so, but Skins, this British television show none of us should have been watching as kids. There is an actress, Hannah Murray, who plays an iconic character, Cassie, in one of the generations. She was like the first one or the second one. She was with Effie's generation. And she wrote a memoir. And she was it's like, sounds very heavy. So that's one thing. But I was like, oh, let me go to Net Galley and go see if I can get it because they posted the ARC, and I did. I got it immediately. And then I was like looking at my profile and I was like, no one's going to give me shit, because when I first got this, I didn't understand the impact of receiving an ARC read. And now that I have a little bit more, this was like 2 years ago when I started Words and Whisks, and I was working on getting those ARCs for us. And like, we ended up getting a great ARC, but I didn't understand the feedback ratio, and I really botched my fucking feedback ratio. So, and you can't really come back from it. Like you can go in and like say you didn't read this book to like clear it up, but like if you didn't leave a review, you kind of don't get credit for it, which is understandable. So I had like 4 or 5 and it tanked my score. So I'm on a mission now to up my score, and I found a few audios. So they have audios and ebooks. And they have ones that are read now, so you don't need to be like vetted by the publisher and like gifted it. You can just receive it. And one of those was Ignore All Previous Instructions. It was queer. It was sci-fi, because like that's kind of the vibe I'm in right now. It's queer sci-fi, basically 2 childhood friends, traumatic backstory. One of them has autism. I can't get too far into it. Obviously it's an ARC, but based on the description, they basically go on this heist situation. One of them is trans and repaying a debt to kind of their pimp in a way. And it's intergalactic, it's dystopian, it's really funny, and the pacing of it is interesting. So it's like flashback to present day as this character development happens, and like the plot pushes on both ends, and something huge happens that they did as children that informs why they have to go on this heist now. Like it's just super interesting, and the writing, and it's about AI too, and creativity and the balance, all of these things, but it's fiction, dystopian. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it because all of the AI-ness of our whole lives currently, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I finished it last night because I couldn't put it down, or I couldn't take off my headphones. And I was like, oh, I believe in ARCs again, because my favorite book from last year was an ARC. So I'm working on my score. That was like long-winded just to say that I'm working on my score, and I have a few audios.
Wait, I have a question.
Absolutely.
Where did the actress from Skins come into this book?
So, well, it It was my reasoning for locking back into Met Gala because I wanted that for a memoir too. So I received her memoir. I received this, and I got.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It was long-winded, girl. Yeah, so I'm excited to read both of the Hannah's book I have on my TBR here coming up. The pub date isn't till the end of June, I believe. So, but I'm very excited to read that. I love a memoir, especially if it's someone that I like. I have like a deep tie to, and that era, that era was a deep tie. Okay, yeah, that's all I have. So, just chug a
5 books. You're fine.
What you reading?
I am obviously also have finished the Dungeon Anarchist cookbook. One more thing on this. I love that the AI has fed him the cookbook because he exists. Like, he is the best form. He is the person to receive the cookbook. The epilogue, I was tearing up over of his little entry in there. It was absolutely incredible. Carl?
Carl, we love you.
Love you. And then I know that I talked about both these books being on my TBR. I read The Housemaid and finished it, and then read The Housemaid's Secret. These were my first 2 Freida McFadden reads. I will probably read the third one, and then will possibly never read a Freida McFadden book again. And I said what I said. I found The Housemaid to be pretty boring, and I can't really separate myself from the burden of knowledge, right? I watched the movie, so I knew the twist. So did I find this boring because I knew the plot? So that's kind of what dragged me into the second one, because how the first one ends. Are you going to read this?
Well, I might, to see if I can prove your point, if it's just boring because it's boring. No, I'm kidding.
Well, how the cliffhanger ends with the little last bit at the end of The Housemaid. I wanted to read this book and then read The Housemaid's Secret because of how the movie ended, because I thought that we were going to get expansion upon how this ended. The Housemaid's Secret picks up at a completely different point in the main character's life. It's a Millie, but not like our Millie. A different Millie. Millie. The Millie's from the Bronx in the way that Kip is, and honestly, this female narrator could have voiced Kip.
In the way that Kip is. And I knew what you meant immediately, so.
This narrator could have voiced Kip, but Kip's narrator couldn't voice Millie, you know?
Kip's narrator couldn't voice Kip.
What do you mean? Oh. So yeah, I don't really love what they've done with the timeline. They've done some weird stuff. Freida herself. I think that I will get in on the third book because it's fine. It's a quick read. It's not the best thriller I've read. And it almost doesn't feel like a thriller. I don't know.
I was going to say, you read a lot of thrillers and mystery type beats, and you've pulled some amazing you've sent me some great stories. So yeah, I was interested to see how this would fare, because I know she's very popular, but she's very popular, I think, in the same way that maybe Colleen Hoover is. That's the energy I get.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't either. Both these books follow a very specific formula where it's Millie, and then it's part 2, and it's the other person's point of view, giving the backstory as to how we ended up here. This is how you get me. I almost want to read a completely non-related Freida book to see if this is her formula. I bet I could just Google it.
Probably.
Because
I would say
The Housemaid did it, The Housemaid's Secret did it, and I'm is this unique to the Housemaid trilogy, or is this Freida's gimmick?
I mean, I feel like a lot of thrillers are set up in that way too. It's formulaic. And it bodes well for a thriller or a mystery because there's always some element that isn't being told and you get it at the end.
Backfill of it all.
So I wouldn't be surprised, but it is palatable. People like that. No one likes, I don't know. There are very few people, and I think we're part of this group, that likes a thriller that completely fucking throws them. The thing about thrillers that are formulaic in that way, while the thriller itself might be tensionful and have all the stuff happening and you're like, I don't know which way it's going to go, you can predict that it will end up the way that you like it to end up because of the way it's written. And that's okay. Like, that is, it's not bad writing. It's just like maybe not the most interesting, like, I don't know. And that's what I need out of a thriller or mystery. I want to be what did I just read?
Yeah, I would definitely say that The Housemaid's Secret had more thrill to it because I wasn't familiar with the story. I thought that it could have, like the story was good, but it wasn't, it could have been better. I said what I said. Isn't this woman also a doctor? Like, she has so much going on.
She's doing her best.
It was a fine read. It was like maybe a 3.75. It wasn't a life-changing read. I don't regret reading it. And I read it in a day. It was like quick. What are you watching?
I have been sleepy girl. I can't I can't watch anything at night, which is like,
ooh, she's sleepy.
No, I haven't had a ton of time. I've been honk shoeing. I have started Euphoria though. I don't know if have I talked about starting it?
No,
I don't think I have. Okay. So I've started Euphoria. I think I just talked about it with you, which is just so fun when you have a podcast. I'm like, what have I said here? It is exactly how you described it. I'm just stressed. I don't like anyone's storyline. I don't like where this is going. It's too stressful. I have no real big thoughts about it yet. We have to get further in the season. Fucking Cassie and Nate, this whole thing. I hate it.
That house is to fucking die for, though.
I know, but she wants those goddamn flowers. I can see the flowers being an issue.
Did I send you the video of the person that went to the estate sale at that house before they bought it to film in it?
No. Send it. If you find it.
Oh, I sent it to someone, so I'll find it.
It might have been me. We have a lot of things back and forth. I'm bad at checking threads.
I don't think it was. I think I know who it was because I sent it to someone that's actively watching Euphoria. But now you're in the circle.
I'm back in. Yeah, I have a deep love for Zendaya, so I love watching her on the screen do anything. When she told that stripper that her friend overdosed, like that's, I'm like, I just don't feel good watching this. And it used to be like it
like
used to not feel good. Yeah. But I was a kid, so I was like, it didn't bother me.
The first 2 seasons had more of that Skins vibe, and this is just everyone's suffering.
Yes, exactly. And that's what happened with Skins too. Like, you get to that 3rd generation, you're like, they're killing people just for fun. Like, this is strange.
Right.
And then, yeah, just, I hate everyone's storyline. I'm stressed out for Rue. I haven't seen, what's the sister's name? Cassie's sister, Maud.
She's in the first episode. Maud Apatow plays her.
Yeah, it's Maud. I'm like, I know who she is. But nonetheless, I haven't seen, like, we get a little bit about like what she's doing, but I want to like know more about her life because I think she's actually super interesting. And like, I'm just,
this last episode she was in more significantly.
Okay, good. We haven't seen a lot about Jules yet either. Just a little bit of like Jules through Rue's lens. I mean, that was a lot of words. And that was fine, like, you know, to be expected. But everything, I gotta say though, Maddie, she is so beautiful. She is a beautiful human, yes, but like, I think Maddie as a character, like, I hope she does some real sick shit to whatever she's gonna do with Cassie, because I see something happening. I hope she really turns some bullshit with her. But yeah, I'm like 2 episodes in. I think I started the 3rd episode, and I'm like, I'm just like whatever about it. I kind of just want to watch it so I know what's going on. But I have no real big feelings quite yet. I used to feel like amped up.
Right.
Like,
right. I'm obligated to sit down and watch it.
Exactly that feeling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have to catch up on some stuff. I feel similarly about the boys and the New Testaments. The New Testament, wrong one. The Testaments. I feel like I'm just watching these because it's the finale. I'm still watching Hacks too, but I'm slowly chipping away at it because I think it's like the only show that I'm actually enjoying watching. So, what are you watching?
So, I have Margo written down, but we haven't made any progress in Margo because someone hasn't given me access to the episode yet.
Same here.
They were supposed to do that today and didn't. So he literally woke up from a nap and I was like, "Can we get Margo, please?"
She's green. I got to see her.
I know. Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to the new episode of Margo. I'm further than you in Euphoria. The only thing that you didn't really touch on is the fact that Rue is so extra out.
Just horny. Like, I was not, that whole car scene, I was like, good for you. But like Zendaya being this butch is really doing something for me.
Crazy, personally. But it's also like a testament to her as an actress because that is not who that person is.
By any stretch of the means. And she, like, when she is in Rue, she embodies Rue so well. And that's why everyone loves Euphoria. I think, yes, you have all of these huge players, but like everyone's kind of moved into a different space, I think, acting wise, where Zendaya has always been this, like, can play these complex characters, can play, you know, into a character like Rue really well and sell it. She sells it, and she still does, and she still feels like Rue. Like,
have you seen Nate's dad yet?
Yes, he came to the house, and that I really had to like look like I was watching a scary movie because it made me so sad.
Right?
It's so sad. It's so sad.
It just,
you're right.
I understand that he's a grown man and he probably consented to it, but it feels like a horrible, horrible way. That's the last role he will ever play. I feel so bad about it.
Why couldn't he have been like sick and like Nate could be have some sort of care set up for him and like he owes money this like that's what I'm assuming with Nate's thing. He's owing money like to this guy and owing more and more and more, and he's this wedding and the $50,000 flowers, like that's what I'm gathering, and he gets into some sort of bullshit with that. Like there could have been so many different ways you could have taken this. What did I guess it all already?
Have you seen the posts that HBO put up and they were like, this is it, $50,000 in flowers, and all these like wedding floralists are like, that's $120,000 in flowers and you're setting unrealistic expectations and we need you to stop pushing this narrative because people are going to be mad at me about it.
Yeah.
So
flowers
funny.
Are fucking expensive and even more than you think. So
Right, they're gonna die.
I know. I agree with Nate on that one. Cassie is. I can't even talk about her. That scene. I literally sent you a screen still. I was like, puke. I just want nothing to do.
You're
with
really
her.
in for it, so I'm excited for you to see what comes. And I am actually watching something else. I have started Beef on Netflix, and I don't think I like it. But
did you watch the first season?
For season, I'm watching the first season right now. Did you watch season 1?
I did.
Okay.
It takes a turn in a way that like you kind of don't expect it to.
I like the premise of the show. I don't like the execution. I really want to watch the second season, and I really love the man that plays Danny. He is the man that played Glenn in The Walking Dead.
Baby.
It took me that long. I literally stopped watching The Walking Dead when they killed him.
Same. It
Last
was like
episode.
Historic.
Nope. Yep.
Literally, my family watched it every night. It was like the thing that brought us together. We would sit at the dinner table and fucking watch Walking Dead. And when that aired, I remember all of us being like, nope, no more.
Done.
That was so upsetting.
So upsetting. Also,
sorry.
Very raw personal moment. That happened right after Justana's husband passed away, and he died of a TBI. And the visual of that man's bloodied face, I was like,
that
I never need to re-enter this fray. Yes, don't show me that shit.
Don't. I'm right there with you. It was so upsetting to watch that live too. Like I remember
Awful.
that dropping and it was
100%. And I went to every Sunday watch party. Mm-hmm. So I'm with all these people. We witnessed this happen. I'm like, no fucking way. So justice for Glenn. He's back on beef, baby. So I'll probably watch the rest of that season, but it's not like I turn the TV on. I'm like, I need something to watch.
It's also like one of those shows that gives you the anxieties too. Like,
right. Because everything's going wrong.
Everything's going wrong. It just keeps getting worse. They dig themselves deeper. You have to text me when you finish that episode because I'm leaving it at that. What are we going to do when there's like not good? Like, I feel like when we started this podcast, there's a lot on the horizon and there will be a dip here. And what are we going to do with ourselves?
Yeah, because summer's like a bad time for the TV.
It is. It is. Maybe we have to watch some like shitty reality TV. Like, never mind.
90 Day Fiance. The last resort.
That's what I'm saying. You already are. Maybe I need to.
Hey, what are you obsessed with?
Hey. I am obsessed with I took the patch off already because I'm sending it back. But Johnna's gonna clip in the moment I get. I'm obsessed with this moment. Just making my way back in.
I'm dead. Did that also come from Amazon? Let me just.
I had to pull up on you with something cute.
Clip that.
Do you like what I did to it, Duke?
Do you like what I did?
I said, I'm not telling her I'm getting this.
I saw that in Canva and I was like, where is this going? I thought you had like an iron-on transfer for a shirt. I thought you were getting crazy, but that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I am getting crazy.
Zoom, zoom.
This came in at like 3 p.m. I looked at Drew, I go, if this hat doesn't come in, I'm going to be so upset because I've been giggling and kicking my feet about this all week. It was like coming from like the middle of nowhere, of course.
Yes, Aaliyah gagged me with her notes say, a surprise, for what she's obsessed with. And she really got my ass.
Oh, the joy. Yeah, I bought this gimmick. Well, I texted you. I was like, what am I going to do for this episode? Because we're talking about Project Hail Mary in a little bit. And, you know, you were making the Rocky costume. And I was like, oh, I could like cosplay as Grace. And I was like, that's going to be really hard because I look nothing like Ryan Gosling. Which I understand is not the point of like bounding or cosplaying. So I was like, let me just turn. I was like, I wonder if I could find his helmet at first. And I was like, how could I do that with my headphones? And then I saw this disgusting little thing for $10. And I was like, I'm going to gag her.
No notes.
What are you obsessed with?
I'm very obviously obsessed with in a deeply unhinged way. Hudson and Connor at the Met Gala, but like everything surrounding it. Not the Met Gala, obviously. I'm into slutty shoulders. I am into slutty little jackets with nothing under them. I am into sweet baby boys in eye makeup. I am in curls on a devilishly handsome man. I am into after party looks with thighs out. I am
navels.
Into after party looks with a fucking scarf over a blazer. I am into the boys disappearing for hours at a time together. This is keeping me so fucking fed. I can't. Every morning I wake up and send Aaliyah. So the morning after the Met Gala, I think I sent Aaliyah 15 pictures. Her notifications were silenced. I sent like 15 photos because I was like, you know what? She won't miss anything. She could see it. She could just wake up and go. Boop, boop, boop,
it's like the newspaper. It's the newspaper, baby.
I'm like blowing up Aaliyah's phone with Hudcon content.
So good. There's something about that collar Let's start there. The collar, that fucking slutty when he took off the thing, because we both were like, it's a little boring, but he took off the jacket, and then I was like, this is exactly what they needed to do. Give me all of that shoulder.
Can I also say, he took off that jacket and handed it to some sort of assistant, and the assistant didn't, because like the sleeves got caught, the assistant didn't pull the sleeves out before handing it back to him, and handed it back to him with the sleeves inside out. I hope she gets fucking fired.
She probably will.
That was actually, I don't hope she loses her job. I hope she learns and becomes a better person. I saw that in the video. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Your job is to hold the jacket and you're not writing it?
Bitch,
I would do that for a child.
I would be there with it like held up and like put one arm in.
I would have hired birds to hold it, so whenever he was ready, he could have slipped his arms back into it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, Cinderella.
I'm seeing a lot of shit right now that Ika, Hudson's stylist, is getting for botching his makeup. Someone redid the look and then tagged Ika and said, this is how you actually do it. So Ika had to put out a statement saying, I did my best. I am an artist. I am constantly learning and evolving. And there's all these zoomed in pictures of Hudson's eyes. Like, he didn't have that makeup on for 4 fucking hours, and we don't see him actively sweating 24/7. Don't zoom in on my makeup. That's crazy. Yep. Someone's like, they didn't line his waterline. I'm like, is this a fucking joke?
This is where I like shit like this loses me sometimes, though. Like, I love this fandom because like we get fed things like they just left the hotel, he's at a like, I love that part of this, but the part that I hate is forgetting that there's real people behind this, and this happens so often. This is fandom as a whole. And
also, he fucking ate.
He looked incredible. It was something different. Menswear is always this thing, especially at the Met. It's always fucking boring. This was not boring. Even if you didn't like it, I personally love it. I love that cut. I love the like matador cut. I love the color of it. I love that he had makeup. I love that his hair was different. And like, that's where like he was so strong presenting that look, whereas like Connor, he looked beautiful. I mean, he looked incredible. He took off that jacket. I was gagged, but it was far less adventurous than I think Hudson's was. And I like commend him. Like, I know they have like a little choice in this, but like not that much. I commend them like doing something interesting, because menswear gets so boring, and I'm proud of him. And he looked good. And then the after party look, like he looked so amazing. Good. So much thigh.
Like a little baby Augustus Gloop. Like, he looked so good. The boxers, like everything. I am so gagged by everything surrounding everything they did that night. I think that Hudson's team that styles him and how his hair, like, Ika does such an incredible job. And I thought he looked incredible. I thought he had one of the most out-of-the-box looks. There's so many layers to why it's so unfounded, because that bitch is doing him right every step of the way.
Right.
Man written by woman.
That. And it's been so consistently fun and different, and him, it doesn't feel like he's wearing something that doesn't fit his personality. And I like, and for someone who this is their like huge launch and is like a breakthrough star, like they're doing a good job, and I think people need to like chill.
They're doing an incredible job. 100%. The mesh high neck from the Golden Globes, that was a great look.
So good.
What he wore there with like, he's not missing. You know?
I agree.
I'm not here for any slander. These are real people that got like the biggest break of their life. Like, this is I'm unfamiliar with her work before Hudson, but I assume that they connected when he was a lot smaller. It could have even been 6 months ago. They could have connected. Right. And this has turned into something that no one could. I am so happy for these people. I think they're doing an incredible job. And I think people are fucking weird and need to touch grass.
Again, reiterating that. Yeah. This is like, it's just too much discourse for something that ultimately doesn't affect you, but it will be affecting me emotionally seeing him in a garment like that. And it's been positive. So
I cannot avert my eyes I should be in prison. That's all I'm going to say. The second thing I am obsessed with is going on to the Motley Chronicles website every single day and trying to figure out where the fuck our copies of Losers are.
I have just been leaving it to you and to the universe because it's pissing me off every time I think about it. Every time I'm even like, hey, where is that?
He's pissed too.
Max is mad too.
The thing that's really chapping my ass about it is they always said April. They always said 16 to 18 weeks from December 8th. I believe is when we ordered them. It was this very specific thing. And they didn't give us like, hey, it will be in this day. They gave us that week bracket. And that week bracket was always April. And when we ordered it, any communication, it was always April. And then we get this email that's like, there's been some confusion about the timeline. And it's always been May. And I'm like, don't gaslight me, bitch.
I probably have a screenshot.
I'm gonna.
Do we email them?
They're not gonna change anything. It still says 16 to 18 weeks from that date on the listing on Motley Chronicles. Just so you know. I feel like I'm disappointed because this is like the second thing in this first half of 2026 that I was really excited about that was Harley related that has kind of flopped. Like I thought they were releasing a book and they weren't. They were launching a Kickstarter campaign and none of this reflects on Harley. These are outside companies. I just want my Harley content. Like, I do not fault Harley for this at all. But last year, Harley's like, I'm releasing a book. And I think Harley even got duped how what's that thing called? Got nothing in my brain.
Don't look at me. I'm like, the minute I found out that I had to buy all of those books, I was completely out. I said, someone will get me the story.
Harley's like, I'm releasing a book. And then it turns out it's in tandem with this group of 5 other authors that are releasing a book through this bonkers romance series. And you have to not only buy all 6 books, but I thought the Kickstarter launch meant I'd get to read the book. That's not when I get to read the book. And then we pre-ordered this book in December and we were told April and now it's May and the book's nowhere to be found. And the pre-order from a week before ours is in their warehouse and they're like, so I have to assume because they showed us a copy of it because we know the pages are black. So this has to be somewhere. Just put it in the mail.
Do you think that's a preview copy that maybe that person had before, like to showcase it?
I don't trust them.
Here's the thing though, like I understand if you only did like a limited release for promotional purposes, it just is frustrating seeing it now on my screen. Like that promo that they put out after the announcement, like trying to be hype about it was really irritating because you didn't communicate until the end of the month. Cause it was like middle or end of the month that they said something about the release. Right. And like, cause we were waiting with bated breath in the beginning of the month. That's right. And now like not having any communication after that is like really irritating to me. I bet you I have.
So I'm on the website right now and it says this is a pre-order. Boxes will ship around April 2026. Give or take.
Give or take. Fuck off. Like I get production delays. I get like there are things outside of this company's control, but you need to communicate with people that bought this because like it's not like this is not good. Time. Yeah, and it's not really reflecting well on you. So if you want to communicate, hey, like we are having shipping delays, like we tell us what's going on. Don't tell us like we said it was this time, but things happen.
Right. Don't gaslight me. Don't email communicate with me and be like, it was always May. It was not always May. Your website literally reads April.
Right. I will email them. I'm not afraid.
Here's a little something about me. Every year since 2019, when it comes to picking my New Year's resolution, I choose to write down practice patience, and I'm still fucking bad at it. So I want my goddamn book.
I'm going to tell you, friend, you have a lot of patience. This is actually just irritating, so.
So yes, this will still be on my obsessed list once it's in my hands, but in the meantime.
I know, it looks real good.
So good.
So it says, to clarify, we expect these books to arrive to us in late April through early May. When can we email? Because early May to me is the first week.
Is that in the original?
That was the April 20th email update.
The order confirmation? No,
this was the email update. And it said orders are still on track to ship. Are still on track. Still on track. No, the track has been derailed. They're not still on track to ship out by the end of May. I mean, I hope they are. That's my hope too. I'm going to email them and say, hey, is there any update? Because that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was always that time.
But here's the thing. Here's my other. This is your whole model, like the subscription-based model too, with the special editions. Like, to plan that and to execute that, like, I understand you have to receive these books far in advance. I bought this book in December knowing I'd have to wait till April to get the book, knowing that it's a special edition. This is outside of all of that. What about the subscribers? Because they had first pick. This is why I'm like, I would never do a subscription service like this. Never. I would never do this.
We are currently at 22 weeks out of 18. Just so you know, for your records.
I'm going to draft something up.
Because it
$12 shipping, get it to me.
They changed it to expect it around May. But it was always 16 to 18 weeks. Because I've been counting, mama.
I think so too. And it's like, I understand the delays, but you need to talk to people, because receiving that fucking email on April 20th is a slap in the face.
100%.
Ooh, now I'm pissed off all over again, but I have been letting it fall to the wayside, because if I think about it too much, I get angry like right now.
Just know I haven't. I mean,
know.
Yeah, if you want to draft an email, I feel like it's worth it.
I'm doing it.
The other thing here is, have you ever like dug around on their website? Because like, it's like Motley is a quarterly subscription box dedicated to bringing you the best Why Choose romances, blah, blah, blah. It says, when you start your subscription or when it renews, you'll be charged, but you will not receive that month's box for approximately 16 to 18 weeks afterward.
I would never do this.
No. Absolutely fucking bonkers. We're obsessed with obsessing. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
We had a lot to say today.
Welcome to the second half of the podcast, where we will be discussing Project Hail Mary, kind of all things. We're going to talk about the book. We're going to talk about the movie. We're going to do a little compare and contrast. We are kind of going to jump all over the place. We have some guided questions. We're going to pick what speaks to us the best. And we have just been dying to talk about this. We've talked about so much of this. And I think that there's a lot of differences, a lot of similarities, and we love all of it. So, two saviors of the universe have arrived. We're
here. Maze. Love. I'm so excited.
Would you like to ask first question?
Yes. You have to talk like Rocky the whole time. Did the book feel more immersive or the movie to you?
Question. This is hard because I feel like they were both very immersive in two different ways. Obviously, so I've seen the movie twice in theaters. I saw it in ScreenX format both times. So I have been so visually immersed in this movie. I think the visuals are absolutely gorgeous. So as far as visuals or even like, because books can be very visual with descriptions too. So
Yes.
as far as in a visual way, the movie wins out, but I feel like brain wise and locked in wise, the book is significantly more immersive because of the science, because of everything going on, and dare I call it a slow burn of it. You are just constantly like grinding and watching the clock go by and passing all these days, and it feels so much more time immersive and brain power immersive. Like, this movie you don't have to be locked into in that same way while watching it.
Right. That also encapsulates the gripe of the big differences in the books. More science, more of that figuring out tinkering, like actual tinkering and problem solving is happening in the book. And we get to live in that. It's not this like blip. It's not this, and we move into the next scene. So I agree. And so just to preface this too, I watched the movie first, then read the book. Johnna read the book previous to watching the movie. I didn't see it in anything fancy other than an IMAX theater. It was just, that's the beauty of like space stories, is you get this really interesting look into an area of life that we often don't get to, unless it's your thing, unless space is your thing. Like, we don't really think about that much because it's just, there's so much other stuff to think about. So like, I feel like it's always a treat when it's so visually stimulating. The Petrova line, like, I remember that scene specifically, like knocking my socks off when that switch happens and he gets to see the view through this new lens. And I just remember like goosebumps over my body. And there are very few like visual movies that have done that for me. And that's why I left there and I was like, this is incredible. But yeah, the book did, I would say, was a little less in that way, but gave everything science wise. Slow. I like the romance trope for that. Slow burn wise, we got to actually see like the friendship slow burn, between these two characters, far more than we did, I think, in the movie, even though they did a fabulous job.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's one of the really interesting things about this is the movie is truly so good. They allegedly there's a 4-hour cut somewhere out there, and they had to absolutely cut it down. So I feel like they would have if they could have, but they couldn't.
That's Hollywood. Yeah. And that's unfortunate because I'm sure there's some good shit in there.
Did you feel side characters were more or less impactful? Question.
I would say in the movie, it's hard. I would say in the movie they were way less impactful. I would say that, like, this will come up a million times as we talk about this. It's a movie. They have to condense it. They have to fit everything in there. They have to fit the important stuff. They have to change a few things so it makes sense for screen. But the biggest thing that kind of was left out of the book, out of the movie for me, was the relationships that Grace had, gained working on this mission. So all of the astronauts that he had to work with to train them, like all of these, you get more personality. All of these like details are just completely omitted. And the whole book, this is not a spoiler. I mean, if we're talking about this, I'm talking about, he wakes up and he's in both stories, he wakes up and he's in a coma, and the book immediately takes off with like, it's all amnesia based, and then it all unravels. Whereas like the book is like, okay, it's all amnesia based, but like there's other things that I know that are missing here. And he's learning about himself, and he's learning about these people, and he's finding their stuff, and like, get the funeral scene, all this stuff like that really was the beauty of the book, is you get all this information that kind of also informs Grace's actions too. So there's that. The movie really leans into like, this man was a loner, I think, for plot purposes, maybe to soften the blow of Strat's decision and the mission's decision to like force him onto this mission. I don't know. It's like story pushing. I'm sure there's like writing, this is all part of the having to make it into a movie. But I really do think that's what sets the book, apart from the movie. And I think those side characters were really important in both. But I do have to say, Carl, the addition of Carl was super fun in the movie. And that first half really kind of made it fun, and it made Grace's personality and his interactions with people come out. Like, you can tell this man's a teacher at heart. You know, he's an educator at heart. He's teaching this, like, you know, and this wasn't anything huge. It just was this guy who got sucked into it because he's security for him.
Right.
And it was so well done and executed. So like the book or the movie didn't completely abandon maybe like using those relationships to highlight Grace, but it was really just focused on getting to Grace and Rocky's storyline, which took way longer in the book, which people hate. Some people hated that. I don't know.
Slow burn.
Yeah,
I very much agree. I think that his connection with his students as a teacher is not properly portrayed in the movie either, because he loved being a teacher.
Kids.
And I think the closest to that we got, like, of him being so teacher core was when Strat comes into his classroom and picks up the little earth hacky sack and he goes, "That's lava." And she goes, "No, it's not.
No, it's not."
Him being a teacher, and like that is how he found connection and importance in the book. So seeing that completely omitted from the movie, it almost felt like you could tell he was a great teacher. You could tell the kids loved him, but we really just had that one little classroom scene that was used more as an establishing shot of him having to answer the question from the little girl who's like, "My dad says the sun's dying."
Yeah,
but I thought that him being a teacher was so special and so sweet, and there's it's such insight to how his brain works, how he learns to communicate with Rocky, how he ends up teaching Rocky these things, and why he thinks it's so important to get this knowledge to Rocky that's not represented in the movie.
Yeah, I think those are the two big movie adaptation like gripes, I think. But it's like, I will say this a million times throughout this too. It's not like they did a bad job. I think this is just the nature of trying to make a movie out of this giant world. And there's so much happens in the book too. There's so much science. There's so much plot. There's so much the back and forth and like the exciting parts. I really do think that those were the two biggest, like I heard from other people too. The science, his love of teaching, and his impact to his kids. If someone made this incredible edit, animated edit basically, of one of his students teaching about Grace after they save the world, and it is so cute. I like died about I was like, this is too much for me to see on a Monday morning. Like, what is your favorite scene in the movie?
Probably the party hat fireworks scene, because when I read the book, Rocky showing up in his little dress clothes, I was ugly crying. I was fucking sobbing. His little crystals, how they explain the whole thing, I was like bawling. So I looked at Gabe and I said, if Rocky shows up in his dress clothes, it's over for me. And then Grace put a party hat on him, and I was like, no. I literally could not handle the situation. I was like, this is too much.
So much. I was sobbing, boo-hooing. I forgot about that. And again, no context. I didn't even read, like, I didn't know what this movie and this book was about when I went into this. I just knew everyone loved it. I hadn't had time to read it yet. You had watched it you had seen the previews, and you were like, you gotta go see it. So I was like, we're going immediately. We're going the day it releases. So
what was yours?
My favorite scene from the movie, it's when they land on Arid, and they kind of make a home for Grace. Okay, so it's the epilogue. So it's the epilogue, like, ending scenes that in the movie just fucking choked me and died, because I had sobbed everything out. We got to this point you know, Grace and Rocky are walking on this beach, you're just like,
I'm tearing up.
like my like chest is getting tight right now thinking about it. There's something so beautiful about that whole epilogue scene, and then they fucking hit like they hit me with him
We're
teaching
so good.
to all the Iridians, those little Iridians,
right?
The children.
Which honestly, to circle that back, we're literally crying if you're on audio.
Tears.
To circle it back to what we were talking about Grace being such an incredible, dedicated teacher and him taking that job so seriously, when you get to that epilogue in the book and see that he's a teacher. This is something that when we read this at book club, we could not discuss because everyone was crying. We were like, we cannot discuss the end of this book.
It was
because it's ruining our lives.
It was perfect. And they talk, you know, we get a nice button too. It's like you don't know what Grace's decision is, but you know that Grace has found community. He has found his way back to his passion. He has done the most incredible feat in human history. And he saved 2 planets. He saved 2 civilizations. Like, it is just insane. And he has also found peace because you watch him, like, you know, coming off of amnesia, you really get to see like his internal struggle throughout this whole thing with direction and passion and meaning. I feel like, you know what this gives me the same feeling of is Soul. That's why it's this, he gains his purpose through this process, and in a real way, like I've done, of course, an amazing thing, but you know what I actually did is I found connection. And I cannot even think about that fucking scene. I like the book.
I know.
Thankfully, they made me laugh because he was talking about the me burgers because they take the me burgers. So it like I'm like crying thinking about him living this peaceful life,
eating his own flesh,
and then he's like eating his own flesh. Burgers. He's like, you would eat a me burger too if you hadn't eaten anything but slop for a couple years. But yeah, that's my favorite. And then listening to it in the book, I like it sent me all over again. I think it was executed perfectly in the book too.
Yes, because it's so full circle. It's so sweet.
So sweet. Oh, I can't think about that.
We're moving on. I am going to ask a question that's fully off script.
Yeah, go for it.
Thought of. If you could take one scene or plot point that happened in the book that didn't happen in the movie, what would it be?
One scene or plot point.
Is it the speaking about the me burgers?
No, I think they did that well too. I was going to say the language building, but that was between Grace and Rocky. You learned how they did it and they kind of zoomed through it. But in the book, he talks about it like as they're building this language model, they talk about the things they're talking about and like what they can.
The book.
Yes, and what Rocky can convey and how Grace has to like think about language now. He is like the brain overload. Like I would be sludge. My brain would be sludge having to use it in all of the ways that he has to use this for this mission. I know a lot of it is just his knowledge base being a scientist, but then you're talking linguistics, you're talking phonetics, you're talking music theory, you're doing all like incredible. But they did a good job of it.
Loses the plot of being on a quest for knowledge. He's like, I have to learn how to communicate so we can talk to each other. This is sick.
Oh my gosh. When he gives him the laptop at the fireworks celebration, and Rocky is so excited about it. Yeah, it's always there. And I think, again, they did a great job. So I wouldn't change that. But one thing I think it would be really important to add to the movie is to make sure that there are more establishing scenes with the crew, because I think it's integral to him understanding how he ended up there and feeling less. I don't know if it would add to feeling more or less like, oh, I'm just a coward and I had to be forced to do this mission. I don't know where it would have taken the story. I mean, we saw it in the book. I don't think it would have tilted it too much, but what I think it would do is make the character development for Grace in the movie a little bit more robust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
You?
think that they had a tough time establishing, like, even when the explosion happens, I feel like it's hard to tell, like, oh, those are 2 crew members that were supposed to be on the ship, and this is why it's a big deal, because they weren't supposed to be fucking, and that was the person and the backup person. Like, that, if I had just watched that movie, I would have been like, who died? You know?
Yeah, it and you're like so quickly introduced these people, and I think like this alludes to like maybe like I know Drew struggled with this, like the back and forth of the plot and the narrative and the flashbacks to the Project Hail Mary team working this out. There was just so much more in the book, and in the movie it was like every time I'd be like, is that correct? And Drew's like, yes, but they're missing this, 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 and this. And yes, but it didn't happen like this. And yes, that person didn't exist. Like, that's just like one of those things that I think would work better for Grace's development, and then also inform Grace and Rocky's relationship, because that's the gem of this movie. We know it's the golden ticket. We know, but there has to be character development and us a deep understanding of how Grace gets to how important it is to have this relationship with Rocky, basically. Beyond the mission, the relationship with Rocky is the other huge piece of this. So what about you?
I would have opened up this movie. So the movie opens almost identical to the book, but I would have opened up the movie with, and they could have done this could have taken 2 extra minutes, with him waking up, the software asking him, what is your name? And him not remembering, because I think that they really needed to do a better job establishing that he does not know why he is there, and he does not remember anything that happened. Yes. I think that's really important, and I feel like even if they took that beginning and it was just him opening his eyes and like the software being like, what is your name? Because that's what they ask, right? What is your name? They're like, and he can't come up with it. And then they put him back to sleep. Wakes up, what's your name? Put him back to, if they even did that like real quick in a 2-minute sequence, I feel like that could have done so much better, because the only building we have to him being confused and not knowing who he is him writing on a whiteboard at one point, trying to piece together how the hell he's there and what's going on.
So that's like when I leaned over to Drew and I was like, okay, so like he like woke up and he does not, he's like, yeah, he has amnesia. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I did not gather that.
Right.
So yeah, I agree. I think that would have been great.
And you're right. I just feel like it really would have been an easy way to establish it, like really quickly and efficiently too. What is your name? Back to sleep. What is your name? Back to sleep. What is your name? Even if at that point, and it was such a big deal, him getting off that table and passing all these tests. And meanwhile, he just wakes up, rolls off the bed, and runs up a ladder. And I'm like, hold the fucking phone.
Yeah. I'm like,
we're rushing.
Where am I? Yeah.
I just had a 4-hour cut.
Yeah, give it to me.
I'll pay a lot of money for that.
I had another thought too. In the book, there was that this is to the second point about the relationship with the other astronauts and other crew. There was that gene, and they all had to do this like gene testing, and in the book they like explained why the gene testing had to be done and the importance of having the coma gene marker, basically. My hat went askew. I feel really much so like Riley.
Back.
Yeah, I think that was another big piece that was in the book and obviously not in the movie. Really hit the nail, like this, the gravity of the situation when the building explodes and the crew member like, and why Grace has to step up all of a sudden, like the sense of urgency too. Like the book, it just was like, oh, or the movie, it was like, oh, okay, this is happening. Oh, okay, now Grace has to go. But in the book, there's so much more science behind why Grace has to go now, because it does feel like they kind of were like, Strat was like, you know the mission like the back of your hand. You're the only one. Like everyone else can do what they need to do, but you need to just do this one part. You need to like nut up, basically. And it just, there's so many other people that could do this. Like, you know, they didn't just push that enough in the movie, I think. Let's do a character question. Did Grace feel the same personality-wise? Was he funnier? Was he more serious? What was your take on each form?
Because of all the science we keep referring to, Grace seemed so much smarter in the book.
Mm-hmm. Less
And I
disheveled.
think it was also casting the man that Grace is portrayed as with Ryan Gosling, crazy. Because
Crazy
real
choice.
Ryland Grace, not hot. I gotta tell you. I know.
Yeah.
He was just like a regular guy, and then they cast him, which, girl, I'm not complaining. But like,
right. But so for someone who watched it first, like, I can only imagine Ryan Gosling. But I can understand he is more grumpy, I guess. He leans more grumpy and disgruntled. Still silly, but he's like, I don't know. He doesn't have the edge that I think Ryan Gosling brings to the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cause he's like, I love being so inside of Grace in the book, which is something that is any book to screen adaptation we will never be able to have, except for, what did do it via a very creepy narration, You from Netflix. Like, we will never be able to be in the person's head like we are in a book, because that's just not how visual adaptation works. So I really loved being in his head, like watching the gears turn, having him figure these things out, having him think through all these different things was just so deeply appealing. And it brought like Ryan Gosling's Ryland Grace was very charming, very funny, handsome, all these things, and that made him incredibly likable. But he's just as likable as Book Grace, but for many different reasons.
I think completely different reasons, because I think Book Grace, you get to watch him go through more. You get to see more of him where you can't do that in a movie. So it's just kind of based on visual cues and like also getting the point across in a way that like is consumable for a movie. Whereas a book like does not technically have to do that. Like, yes, you have to be able to like understand it. But there were parts of this book that I didn't fucking understand. They were talking science that is just beyond my brain capacity, but I'm sure really hit for some people. It just depends on the subject matter. Character-wise, I don't know. I feel like there's a two sides to the coin, I guess.
What would you be doing on that ship?
I'm trying to think like actually what I'd be doing like professionally. It'd probably be some sort of like ensuring no one dies, like disease prevention, like a nurse. Like,
this question never occurred to me that I would be on there for a real reason. I have nothing to offer.
I have nothing to offer. And this is the thing.
Twiddling my thumbs.
Like, just farting around. Like, I would be like wasted space. No, I'm trying to think how I could actually apply myself. Yeah, that would be the only thing. I'm not like a STEM girly. That's not my jam. And I know some people would know exactly what they want to do, but if I've learned anything from the Artemis launch recently, everyone is doing so much on that ship. Your title might be the pilot, but you are doing so many things. So it's hard to imagine myself
three
here.
people to save the world. Like,
yeah,
I don't make that cut. A lot of people got to die first.
A lot of people. Last resort kind of energy. Yeah. What would you be doing?
What would you actually be doing to pass time?
Ooh, to pass time? I'd be looking out the damn window. Like, I would have to be glued. Like, especially in the movie, the cockpit has that amazing view, and like we see so much. We see like when Rocky's ship comes into the picture, like we see so much through that window. So like that would be me. I'd just be sitting in front of there gawking and try not to puke. I would never be on this because whatever gene you need to have to like not be motion sick, I don't. I would just be puking on everything. Like, I can't handle a car ride. I can't G-force. Not for me. I wouldn't be here. What about you? What would you be doing? Morale? You'd be team morale.
Yeah, I'm a personality hire first and foremost. So I would definitely be like setting the vibe. I would have brought all those kooky clothes. I would like be doing gimmicks with the dead people. Because if I ended up there alone, the ship would crash in zero gravity. Like, no.
There's nothing I'm pressing, or there's no manual that you can give in case of the worst emergency happening and the gimmick girl having to I would just
like that's what I'd be doing. I'd be making the fucking party hats. Like, no, I ain't doing that. Stressed out thinking about it.
Yeah, this is not for us. I'm sure there are people that are like, yeah, I would be great at this. Like, no. It would not be great in space. No. Even in like the Katy Perry way, going up like a little bit and coming back down.
No. I have no interest. I don't want to be in a submarine unless it's Finding Nemo's adventure at Disneyland. And I don't want to be in space. I can kind of handle things down here on the surface, you know?
Yeah, not well either. Like, I'm just stumbling through whatever we're doing. No. So
limping along.
Okay. What is one change in the movie that you cannot defend? Or something that like they left out? Anything like that? Actually, no, keep it a change. Like something that they changed completely from the book.
The first thing that comes to mind is that first scene of not establishing how confused he is, in all honesty. I think that could have been, like, because if my non-film brain can think of a way to establish that so quickly, how did we end up here? You know?
Yeah.
And then, definitely, like, not heavily establishing the relationships with his coworkers in a way where he was, like, even having the flashbacks to find them, like, once he finds them dead. Like, because that's really a sad scene, and he has a hard time navigating in that book. In the book, it's really emotional, and then he yeets him out. And but then he like cracks a joke about one of her pictures. Sick picture, but he like cracks a joke about it, and it's fine.
And he was just very much so like, I think these people were important to me, and it's like, yes, that I'm gathering what you're trying to do in the movie, but like, there's so much more to it in the book, and I think, I agree. That one's such a huge point.
Or actually, when Rocky saves him, the whole sequence with Grace getting super burned trying to save Rocky and get him back in his enclosure. And completely different. Him actually harming him while he's trying to heal. Which are minor, but I think that's huge. He's so desperate to save him, he ends up hurting him because he's such this scientific brain. He thinks all this stuff all the way through. And he's like, oh my God, I can fix him by doing this. And then after Rocky wakes up and they talk about it, he's like, oh my God, I could have killed you doing that.
He's like, you're making it worse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I forgot about that. And that was one of those moments. Boo-hoo. You want to talk to boo-hoo of the century? I'm like, if he doesn't wake up, I'm going to scream. And I looked at Drew and I go, if he doesn't wake up, I have to leave the theater.
Send me to space, bitch. No way.
That was it was well done in the movie, of course. It's so emotional. But there's so much more happened in the book with that. I completely forgot about how he was accidentally making it harder for him to heal. And he was like, can you just not? Right. I think another big thing, while it was not like a huge moment in the book, it still it buttoned things up nicely. I think where there was a trial in the book where Strat was like held accountable. And she was doing all sorts of shit, whatever. Like, it was kind of like, this is what happened back on Earth. And
right,
we got basically nothing from that end of things. which is just,
and even the conversation they have in the book where he's like, what happens to you after this? And she goes, I'm gonna go to jail. Like, she knows.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to prison. Yeah, she knows.
Yeah.
And it's
Prison.
and in the movie we get the karaoke moment, which kind of humanizes Strat, which is whatever gender they're going for. Like, I don't know, Strat's character is a little weird.
The karaoke moment's weird.
Yeah, because it's connecting Grace to the staff, the other like crew members, but not in the way that the book does. Completely, he's sitting in the corner. Right. He's not engaged in any way, and it's mainly used to connect him and Strat. And I just don't
establish him as a loner because he's there alone. Everyone else is kind of coupled off.
Alone. Yeah,
and they have a very like flirty vibe, which does exist in the book because someone assumes that they're together in the book, but the way the flirty vibe was portrayed in the movie, I was like, huh?
It's a little too burning. But
what the fuck was Strat wearing the whole time?
I don't know.
A muumuu.
I'm a wool muumuu.
Literally.
That her character is confusing. They're different people from the book to the movie. Different people completely. I think Strat's important, so the story is still there, and like, you know, being the antagonist, I guess you would say, if you wanted to really label her. But I don't think she's completely that. We don't get that in the movie. We don't get that in the book, but it's just kind of like for the plot purpose. But yeah, it's just a little tidbit that I was like, that'd be nice to button up, other than seeing the tundra that is now Earth and them receiving the information and her holding the Xenonite sculpture of Grace. Like, that's all we got. Yeah, I think so.
I am gonna ask the opposite of that question, which is, what is one change that was in the movie that you liked better than the book?
I like Carl.
Or something they added. Carl.
I love Carl.
The sour Skittles, the sunglasses, the vibes.
It gave us a look into Grace, like I said, but it also just like helped push the science along and like made me feel like I was learning alongside Carl. And when he calls Strat and he goes, Carl and I made a baby. It killed me.
Dead. Same. Yes.
But yeah, I loved that. I mean, so minuscule of like a point in the book, but it, like, he just was doing this all alone in the book, and I'm just glad they had something to make it juicier in the movie, I guess, because they were not including all of the science. That would be my big thing. Big but little. What about you?
Yeah. You mentioned it, but that end scene with Strat getting the little man and like seeing that Grace made it and he did it, and the whole thing, and us knowing that information got back to Earth, us seeing what Earth looks like, because we knew the temperature was dropping, so she's on a barge in the middle of the ocean that's completely frozen over, and that kind of thing. I really like that. I also saw in like a TikTok or something that she has a neck tattoo indicating that she did go to prison, but if I had to look at that via TikTok, it was not evident enough that she made it out. But I loved that they aged her up like that. And because she, in her own really fucked up way, believed in Grace the whole time, right?
Yes.
She knew that he could do it. Her knowing or believing in him and then getting to see that he fucking did it. Also, the concept of him actually going up there and establishing contact with alien life and showing her evidence. There's just...
Yeah. And he's like,
so much to it. I try not to think about space because like it's so big and so scary. Like my brain cannot conceptualize space. I can't. Yeah. I cannot fucking do it.
We can't.
I literally cannot use my brain like that. Like knowing that Earth exists in our solar system in a galaxy, that's too much. Knowing how far away that fucker was, knowing how far away he is living with Rocky, I'm like, I cannot do this. So to just think, to be Stat that believed in this guy, that put this mission together, that went to prison to try to save Earth, to receive the science, to have made it happen, to see her with their little fucking space figurine, I'm like, we did that, Stat. I'm on the force.
Strat.
Oh,
Strat.
Stat is a professional wrestler, ladies and gentlemen.
That's where her brain's at. I love you.
Got nothing in my brain.
Yeah, that, I mean, well said. I do think that it makes her a more, she's very nuanced. The relationship is nuanced, but like I think it humanizes her too, because that's her whole mission. What was the most stressful moment in either the book or the movie for you? Because there were a lot.
I'm gonna say two-way tie, same scenes in book and movie. First, them almost crash landing when they get too close and get pulled into that planet's orbit.
Yeah.
That is super stressful. Seeing that is super stressful. And like Rocky being able to see through and be like, get the fuck back down here. Super stressful. Watching Grace get knocked out. Like that whole sequence is so stressful. And then the second one is when we think that I'm on the ship. When we think that we are in the clear and Grace is getting to head home because Rocky's given him all the astrophage he needs to get home, and Rocky's headed back and he realizes that there's the leak.
Yep.
And like that moment, and then when he decides to go save Rocky, like not knowing if he's gonna get to Rocky in time, like all these things that ate me up.
Yeah.
Both times I knew it was happening and I was like,
I'm gonna piggyback off of that more so in the movie. When he makes his way back to Rocky, he sees Rocky's ship, Rocky's not answering. Oh my god, that was another moment I was like, if he doesn't
if he's too late,
if he's dead, because again, I didn't know what was happening, so like everything felt so, I was like literally clutching my pearls. I was like, if fucking Rocky's dead, I can't deal with that. The thought of this beautiful little creature dying in this, obviously it wasn't going to happen, because I know you wouldn't be, you would have something to say about that. So
oh my God. I know it. No little guy deaths on my watch.
Right. No. So yeah, that I was going to say that was exactly mine too. I mean, that whole scene when they get sucked into the orbit, that's so stressful, especially the movie when he's like reaching to press the button and he can't reach it, and it's like Rocky making that, like, and you get so much information too about these two characters. You get information about Rocky and like that these beings have empathy, and he was sacrificing himself. Like that feels like a human thing, and that's where this gets you, you know, when you're like, wow, this little creature can have empathy and these fucking rotted humans on Earth can't. Like,
she said what she said.
You want to hear it? No. Yeah.
When did you realize you were emotionally attached to Rocky? I'm very curious as to when you fell in, if you could give us some insight from the movie, because after I watched the movie, I kind of wondered if you would connect with Rocky the way I did, because he shines so much brighter and you get so much more information about him in the book.
I agree. I agree with that point. I did fall in love with Rocky. I texted you right after. I was like, that little creature means so much to me, and it is truly just a puppet. I think the moment was when they started building language and Rocky had this personality and was like, when they have that moment when they're going back and forth, they're building this language, and like sarcasm is just something that happens. Like I really fell in love with that, and when he started creating these Xenonite gifts and like trying to communicate with him, it was like
he's doing gimmicks.
He's literally doing, like, he's trying to razzle and dazzle him. Like, and so like, and then you quickly see the importance of their relationship, of the importance of them working together. You know that he is also alone in the same way that Rocky is, but in a completely different way, in a even more tragic way, I would say, you know, being the only surviving crew member and like not understanding why. So he's like, why did I survive? And Grace figuring that out. Like there's just so much human to Rocky, who is an alien, and that's what makes him so lovable. And of course by the end, their relationship is just everything. So like the language building was really cute and a huge point in both of both the book and the movie. But I think in the movie specifically, when they actually keep going back and forth and you get this personality out of Rocky, is when I was like, oh my God, I love him. I love him so much. What about you? I feel like your perspective is...
So definitely that language establishment scene, especially being in on this on audio, like hearing how he talks is so interesting. There's not anything to dislike about Rocky, in my opinion. I think every piece of the puzzle we learned just built more. But that moment we realize he is the only survivor on his ship. I think that's during the language establishment.
Yep, it is. Yeah.
That is the saddest thing. I can't.
I can't keep crying about Rocky.
I literally, like, to know how technologically advanced he is, but they have much different science and things like that than we do, is so interesting. And for Grace to be like, it's so simple why everyone on his ship died. But the thought of, because he's so sweet, right? He is innocent. Honest and funny and innocent and all these things. And to think of him watching everyone on his ship pass away is like so sad. It's so devastating. And then I talked about it before. The moment, like literally crying in the club, him and his fucking dress blues. You're gonna go put crystals on my king.
Jingle jangles.
Say no more. That sweet little baby.
Rocky can do no wrong. Oh, another great Rocky scene that like made him very lovable in the movie was when he created his own spacesuit. And I like how they did it in the movie because Grace is like, he's knocking and it sounds like he's knocking at the airlock door, and he opens it up and he just rolls the fuck in, and he's like, dirty, dirty, dirty. Why is it so gross in here? Like,
yeah.
He's just calling him out, and he's like, he is just so excited to be on his ship. I think that was such I loved that scene so much in the movie. Like, and they didn't do the same in the book. I think it was like structured, right?
Right. And can I also say one thing between Rocky and Grace that happens in the book that doesn't happen in the movie until all the way at the end? And again, I understand why they did it. Is how quickly Grace picks up Rocky's language, which also shows me how smart Grace is, because I am garbage at language and learning language. And I think it's so sweet. Like, they didn't want to sub that whole movie when they could have just done what they did. I completely agree with the choice. But Grace picking up Rocky's language so they can communicate without the transmitter, I think is such a fun layer to the book. And I do love that they put it in at the end, how they're talking and it's subtitles.
Yes.
That was very special to me, because I was like, wait, they didn't establish that Grace actually learned his language. As a 90 Day Fiancé watcher, that is a true sign of love, because that does not happen a lot.
Right. Oh. They are so... The relationship is what makes this book. I don't really care about I do care about science. The science is not my interest here. It's
correct.
The bond. And
right. And I think that this is a beautiful testament to that. Us talking about the book, talking about the movie, having digested both pieces of media, because the heart and soul of that book is what made it into the movie, and the science did not make it into the movie.
Yeah.
And these two main characters are the lovable part, and they still had a story to tell with them without all the inner workings of the whole thing.
Right. Okay. So let's do one more. I think this is a good one to end on. So there is a possible sequel in the works. Where do you think the story is going to go? And also, I'm going to add to this. Do you think it will make it to the screen as well? Because we have this delicious movie now.
I would be very curious to know where they'd go, because my interest with the rest of this story, because I think that Grace has a better life and a better connection than he's ever had. So I'm really satisfied with Grace's story. Same. I really want to know what's happening on Earth. Mm-hmm. But that's not a cool science space story, and that doesn't have our beloved characters, and I don't give a shit about Strat when it comes down to it. So I mean, I get in because this is beloved content for me, but the story wouldn't be the same story, and it wouldn't have the same charm. Yeah. So maybe I don't know, they'd have to somehow figure out how to put Grace in it, but I do not want to see I don't want to see him return to Earth.
Yeah,
I don't think he would. I don't think he'd choose to do it.
Right. I think the ending of Project Hail Mary was made to be the ending of their story. Whatever happens after that is for Grace and Rocky. I mean, I know this is all fiction, but I'm like, that's what my heart is saying. Mm-hmm. Grace found the peace, like I was saying earlier. Grace found peace in this reality where he actually feels connected to beings. He didn't feel that on Earth. He did the thing. He did the mission. You know, he did it for whatever reason to not feel like a coward. It gets muddy across both the movie and the book. But what I don't see is taking the story in a direction with Grace and Rocky. Well, I think the Iridians and humans could work together in some capacity, and we could see like life back on Earth and like what civilizations like not like, you know, in some time jump. I don't think Rocky in Grace's story fits into that. I can't imagine it doing it. If it's pulled off, you know, I'm eating it. I'm gonna eat it up regardless, like you said. But I don't
want
see it.
Like a Stranger Things Tales of 86 level, like kooky little animation of Grace and Rocky getting into hijinks on the daily. Silly little goofy shit.
Yeah.
I don't need I don't need a full story build out. I want to like see him go out to eat or like do something stupid, you know?
Right.
I want to see how the planet's like adapted for Grace, because can he leave his bubble?
So
he can't. He doesn't have like a suit, does he?
And he's having like health effects. I think in the book they talk about how his body's deteriorating faster too because of the gravity on Arid. I think that's a big thing. But we obviously see this push and pull at the end. Like that's the whole thing that we're left with Grace is like, I'm happy here. I have found a life that I love here as well. I do have all this, you know, I have students back home. I have a home. I have a home planet, but that feels like something he should be doing and not something that he's choosing to do. And I think him figuring out that he was forced to do this mission was the pinnacle, was like the character development pinnacle for him, and that really turned a tide and like kind of pushed the latter half of the story. So I don't want to see any more. I don't want to see any more of that because I feels like he has done the thing for himself and he's at peace. No. I don't want, like you said, I want to see like
I don't need a big serious like thing from this.
I don't.
Little goofies. Also, I'm still caught up on how they somehow like put him into the Cliffs of Moher in the middle of Arid when he was actually in Sandy's tree dome. Like, I don't even when they cut to the shores, I was like, huh?
It's so beautiful too.
Which is fine. I'm glad he has a big, happy, silly little life. Yeah, he lives a happy little life over there. Are you ready to read the read question? Okay. This is a 4.25 star, so 4.25 from a year ago. So I found it fun to find reviews from before the movie came out, because I feel like some people probably like arrived from the movie and were like, what the fuck is all this science? So 4.25 stars. I believe these are the stakes that Katy Perry thought her 11-minute space journey had.
I'm kicking my feet. Oh, that's funny.
I saw saw that, I was like, and when you mentioned Katy Perry in the episode, I was like, no way.
I did not see that one. That was a goodie.
True. What you got?
Okay. Actually I'm going to switch. I'm going to do one star and 1 5-star. Milo has a lot to say about it. Okay. This one's from MCO, and this was reviewed in 2022. So this is pre-movie. Pre-Ryan Gosling. Every so often, I am lucky enough to come across something that reminds me of how beautiful the diversity of the human experience is. For example, some people loved this book. 1 star. That one just got me. Oh, that was funny.
I thought they were going somewhere with that.
Same. I started that. I was like, started with it was a 1 star, and I was like, why is it in here? They love it. I was like,
no, they don't.
That was well done. Clever.
Okay. I have a 3-star review from a woman who only goes by Ms. M. Feels like she's a teacher. Anyway, let's get in. This is from March 6th of this year, which is the day the movie came out. Boring and no emotional fabric at all. This keeps going, but let's pause there because we have cried over this
How many times?
Podcast format. Right. Other than the occasional tear that he sheds for his supposed crewmates who he finds dead after waking from a coma, but we have no more than a paragraph or so thus far on what it was that makes him care about those two. He also supposedly loves his students at the school he taught at, but we have no individual personalities or basis for why he feels connected to them other than a few remarks during one class period. I'm struggling to finish at 1/3 through. It's like reading long physics or math word problems with color commentary. Truly not a good novel in any sense. I know of depth, complexity, or even of fast-paced action if we were thinking of any genre novels. But apparently this is enough for a screenplay? Ma'am, I beg you to keep reading.
I'm going to beg you to keep reading and then don't go see the movie because everything you're griping with happens. I truly thought this was a movie review.
Doesn't it feel like a movie review?
For this specific movie, like, yes, everything you're saying is applicable literally only to the movie. The book does all of that in such a beautiful way. Anyways, but go off, Queen.
All
right.
Go off. Everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion.
My next one is a 5-star. It's from Melting Missy, who posted 7 weeks ago. This one just made me giggle. In all caps. Yes, I did cry over a rock. You got a problem? Question.
That's our fucking girl.
Yeah. Because same, sis.
For our final read the read. 3.5 stars, which I think this person could have given it more. They listened to it on audio. This was so entertaining, even though I didn't understand a single word of science he said, and extremely funny. Ryland and Rocky are like 2 peas in a pod. It makes me so happy they found each other. I adored the ending. It was the cutest thing ever.
Okay.
I always like picking one that kind of sums us up.
Yeah. I feel the same, but not at a 3 star. I think I gave this 5 stars. I mean,
a 3.5 felt so stingy.
That does feel stingy. We don't review like that though, and some people do.
Ooh, can I drop a 1/4 star honorable mention?
Oh, yes, my hat is
very specifically because this is from Swagmaster G. This book made me want to rip my eyes out and then eat them so I would have an excuse not to continue reading, and then they tagged it unlikable.
Ooh, okay. Therapy.
Prison.
Maybe therapy would work for you. Anyways.
Crazy.
Well, if you couldn't tell, we loved the story. We loved the movie, even with our gripes. I think this is one of those sci-fis that settles and really resonates with a lot of people for whatever reason it might be. You might see yourself in Grace. You might see yourself in Rocky, whoever it is. I think we all can take a piece away from this and like cherish it. I think that piece for both of us lies heavily in Rocky and like the relationship they build, Rocky and Grace.
the humanity in a world that is so divided right now for kind of no fucking reason.
Yeah.
To see two people be able to bridge a gap and come together and come across the language barrier and overcome all the obstacles they overcome to solve the same problem, which is literally to save the universe. Incredible story. And if you don't like it, you're wrong.
Say it louder. Divas.
And with that, if you have made it this far along, please like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Thank you for being here. If you would like a bookmark, please email us or DM us. I would love to send you a bookmark. They are
beautiful.
So cute. You can have our silly little faces.
Oh, look at us.
On your book with our little Millie logo.
Mimi.
So yes, please
cute.
Do all those things. Tell your friends about us. If you have any questions, commentary, book recommendations for us, please reach out. We want to hear from you.
And with that, we will see you.
Anything else for the people, my friend?
No, I was segueing.
At the library.
At the library. Hopefully we can get it. Do you think I got it?
I don't know because you cut out.
Oh no.
But maybe.
I'm being kicked. Oh, wait.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm being kicked. Oh, wait, I'm back.
We'll see you at the library. No, she's back.
I'm back.
I'll see you at the library. I'll see you at the library.
Bye. How many gimmicks and what?
Do.